Now the moment you've all been waiting for.
I am Nate Riggle, and you are listening to The Way of the Bonfire. Hey-o, today is going to be a shorter episode. Just a quick topic, but a powerful, hopefully for you, example of maybe something you should be thinking about. And it could be a good wake-up call. Being an elder millennial, as I think they call us in my age group, growing up in the 80s and 90s, the crazy thing is I used to not have the internet, no cell phones, all these different things that I got to be there for a good chunk of my life, most of my upbringing, before a lot of that stuff came to be. And this is still a thing, right? If you think about somebody who works some type of shift work, whether it's a doctor or a surgeon or whatever it is, where they need to be on call, they used to have like it seemed to be people that were in demand or usually high earners, like doctors and drug dealers. They had pagers, and it looked like this little Tamagotchi looking thing on there that they would hold on their hip, and it just had a little bit of text, and they'd walk around like big shots. And I'm not downplaying the whole thing for the doctors. It's just what they did. It was a smart idea. They'd have their pager on them. If it went off, the doctor would go in. And so they were on call that way. And what's super interesting about that is it's they could page you at any moment. But now we are all on call. And we're not getting paid a surgeon's salary to be on call. We're on call by choice. And for pretty much anyone who wants us to be. You don't have to do this right now, but imagine yourself doing this or try it after this little podcast episode is over. I want you to look down at your phone and roll through the last 25 or so text messages you've received. Kind of take note of where all those came from. Now roll through all of the recent calls you received and answered and who those are from. Now just glance at the Come on, Nathan. Now just glance at the last several notifications your phone sent you. Maybe they weren't text messages, but they're notifications from some app or whatever you've allowed to come through. Now look at how many apps have that little red circle by them if you have an iPhone. I can't remember what it is on an Android. You're essentially agreeing to be on call for every single one of those things. So if, some of them may be, you're saying, dang right, that's my partner, my closest family and friends. I'll be on call for them. But I'm guessing there are at least some that are not, or a lot of them are not in that inner circle, or people that, if I just asked you right now, who would you give your attention and time to at the drop of a hat or at a moment's notice? I bet a lot of those things that you just looked through, you'd be like, well, no, not those people. I wouldn't just stop what I'm doing and be on call for them. But you have given them your pager number, and they're using it. When you pick up your phone, what is an app you open without thinking, like subconsciously? It terrified me once when I was an insurance agent at one point. I had my own office, and I remember like I would always be on my computer all the time, just looking, trying to sell stuff, trying to get new customers, trying to make sure we're taking care of everybody. Making sure that I knew how all the policies and everything worked. Kind of a boring thing, but I had this tendency to go on Facebook that I had developed over the years. And at the time, I mean, I never go on Facebook anymore. And it's like, whatever, it's not even the latest and greatest thing anymore. But I remember I caught myself whispering the word Facebook under my breath to myself in my office. And I was like, what am I doing? So for you, if it's Instagram, or when you pick up your phone, if it's Instagram or TikTok or Twitter or Facebook or YouTube, or your subconscious is giving your pager number, if you will, to millions of people when you think about it. And these are millions of people who want your attention and energy and time and brain power. Just like if you're on call. You're on call. If you're not controlling that impulse in some way, or have some kind of plan in place to moderate it, you're on call 24/7 to nearly the whole world. I'm not exaggerating. I know it sounds like an exaggeration, but when you put it in that kind of context, it is. You're on call to everyone. No wonder we're so stressed out. We're subconsciously have this pager in our pocket that says, give me your attention. And anybody can find a way to get in front of us and get that pager to go off and say, paging Nate. Time to stop what you're doing and pay attention to me and what I need. You see, on call was created for only a specific shift on specific days of the week, so that a small group of people that you work with can reach you if and when they need to. Knowing that you're on your own personal calendar and time, but you've agreed to that slot in the week to be on call. And so what I'm suggesting is that we have to make a conscious decision to decide who can reach us and what our on-call shifts are. Or we are not free. Go get 'em. Hey, thanks for listening to this episode of the podcast. Every single time I do this, I get a little more fired up and my bonfire grows a little bit more. If you're feeling the same way and like you got value out of this, would you do me a favor and go onto the show page in your Spotify or Apple Podcast or wherever you're listening to this and leave a rating and click follow? That way you never miss another episode of the show, and it helps me immensely to keep the momentum and keep bringing the good stuff for you. We'll see you on the next one. Thanks.